Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Deep Dive Podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Wolfson. Today, I've got a great interview lined up for you. I am speaking with Roy Shaham. He is the CEO of Rain Protocol. Rain Protocol is an infrastructure layer for prediction markets, meaning anyone can actually build their own decentralized open prediction market on Rain Protocol. So in this interview, we discuss prediction markets. We talk about the importance, we talk about use cases, and we also talk about how prediction markets are going to evolve moving forward. Highly recommend you listen to the entire interview with Roy because it is very insightful, especially if you are interested in the evolution of prediction markets. Before getting started with today's interview, I also want to take the time to remind you guys to smash that like button, hit subscribe, especially if you enjoy the podcast. I've got plenty more great content coming your way, and I don't want you to miss a thing. Okay, without further ado, let's get started with today's interview. Hi, Roy. How's it going?
Hi, great. How are you?
Doing well. I'm so excited for this interview with you today. I've been hearing a lot about Rain Protocol, and I want to learn more about it.
Terrific. Yeah. Rain protocol is a decentralized permissionless prediction market protocol, which basically means it allows anyone, anywhere to create their own prediction market product end to end, be it market creation, the markets themselves, trading. It could be a private market. It can be a public market, open to anyone, everywhere, globally. And yeah, that's pretty much what we're doing, enabling prediction market creation.
Wonderful. So we will get into that in a few minutes. Before we get started, I just want to know a little bit about your background, how you got involved in the crypto and blockchain sector, and then, what made you want to start Rain Protocol?
Yeah. I'm heavy veteran in consumer, mostly gaming. I headed up poker divisions in companies like William Hill Global, UK-based company, 888. Had a lot of years in consumer gaming, managed poker, casino, sports betting, and yeah, some stock trading. I had my own company some 10 or 12 years ago, and yeah, I think prediction markets, I mean, it's now a bang, and it sort of takes all of my previous worlds into one place, really. And it's like all of the previous worlds are actually like a part of this space, which is amazing. I mean, it's opening now. I think it's in some places it's regulated. It allows people to enjoy this information system, this predicting information system. So yeah, I think it's a great realm, a great area. I think 18 months ago, probably something like that. I saw the extreme growth of the likes of Polymarket and Kalshi. Um, Got to understand where it's at, where the whole idea behind it. I think it's amazing. I think it's I mean those systems are now partially on chain, partially off chain, and I think the idea to create something that is first of all completely on chain and decentralized is something that is an enabler for trust, enabler for actually what we just discussed about being permissionless and allowing anyone to participate. I think that's the direction, and yeah, and building the rails for prediction markets to grow on.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about that, building the rails for prediction markets to grow on. So Rain Protocol is an infrastructure layer for prediction markets. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, so what does that mean exactly, and why did you decide to go that route versus just making Rain a prediction market?
Yeah. So it means that we supply the means for companies to set up their own end user products and put really an emphasis on their product and content rather than dealing with the technology and the native basic tech that you need to operate it. It's pretty much all the same. You have markets, you have resolution, you have trading. So it really allows, because it is a consumer product, whether that consumer is, a customer, or could be like institutional. It allows the operators to focus on their content and focus on the product, rather than only, dealing with the technology, which is it itself is an issue.
Okay. So how many prediction markets are built on top of Rain?
Um, so we have actually two versions of Rain. For the previous one, we had a few dozens, I would say. We just released the new version. It's sort of a centrally limited order book on chain on Arbitrum, that now has, I think, five major builders. We have a lot of small builders as well. And yeah, it's just started a bit more than a month ago, before
Okay.
the World Cup actually started.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's interesting. Did you do anything
Yeah.
special for FIFA with the prediction markets?
Yeah, we actually have a builder that did a lot for the World Cup,
Uh-huh.
and had a good time there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the basis is that it allows to do a lot on top of it. Yeah.
Got it. Now, you mentioned that prediction markets are information systems. So, can you kind of elaborate on that? I think a lot of people look at prediction markets as ways to make predictions and then, make money. So, what do you mean by their information systems?
Yeah. So today, every piece of content that you see, that you read, everything you talk about, really, has a probability. Anything in the future is either likely to happen or not to happen. It includes sports. It includes elections. It includes wars. It includes any event, any future event that we discuss. Anything you see on the news, anything you see on social media, it has a probability. That itself, that type of primitive that has a content and a probability, is actually a prediction market. It means that there is something that can or cannot happen, and there's some percentage that can happen or cannot happen, and that piece of data is essential for a lot of things we do daily, and for a lot of companies that need that data, and of course for AI that can use the data when modeling. So there's it's a complete tool shed of tools that you get by adding probability to an item, to a content item.
I see. Now, what is rain trade? Because I think that's kind of an example of what you just stated, but I want our listeners to know what rain trade is and what it does.
Yeah, so rain trade is one implementation. It's a builder that is building on top of the rain protocol, um, creating a prediction market, that it itself allows anyone to open a market, to create their own market, and to publish their market. So it basically is, using all the basic functions that we allow and we open through API and through our SDK on Rain. It's a very nice consumer product, that is, I think you obviously, most people here would know Calci and Polymarket. They can also get a glimpse at Rain Trade, and yeah, it's an implementation, a good implementation of what Rain can do, but it's only one implementation.
When you say open and permissionless prediction markets, what exactly does that mean? And how is that different from the other prediction markets that we're seeing today?
Yeah, that's a great question. So first of all, I would say it allows for pluralism. If you look at today's prediction markets, they are their own content curators. They decide what markets will be live. They decide what to trade on. They decide what probabilities will be seen, based on customer activity. When you discuss permissionless, it basically means that anyone can actually implement their own product, and by their own product, it means that you can. For a nice example for this is local prediction markets. I come from a place where most of my football games and most of my elections do not appear on Polymarket and on Kalshi and most other prediction markets. Um, Rain actually allows for partners to come and create their own version, their own local version of prediction markets in their area. be it sports, be it Big Brother, what happens tomorrow, be it other culture stuff, currencies, everything that is actually on prediction markets can be localized and not curated by a company. I think when discussing it, I think best to give an example, or an analogy maybe, and that would be, I would call the centralized system pretty much like Netflix, and the permissionless decentralized more like YouTube or TikTok, that allow anyone to create their content on it.
I see. Okay. And then in terms of you mentioned everything is on chain. I think you mentioned that at the beginning of the interview. What exactly, what blockchain is being used, for instance? How is everything stored on chain here?
Yeah, so blockchain is not really a destination; it's really the enabler, to have this, to have all of the prediction market completely on an open ledger, and I think the basis of Rain that is built on the chain, is to allow trust. Trust in this case is not the product itself, but what you build on top of a blockchain would be verifiable and trustworthy. And so that's pretty much the biggest difference. It's not a company that owns the data, it's actually completely verifiable. And I think that's the way to go when discussing prediction markets and generally when discussing this type of primitive.
And then is that built on Rain's own blockchain network?
No, it may be a peep into the future, maybe. But no, no, Rain is built on Arbitrum.
Arbitrary, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. Um, let's talk a little bit about regulations here. So, prediction markets have become a big trend, especially in the crypto sector. So, I guess my first question is, do you think the crypto and blockchain sector will thrive given the rise of prediction markets? Because right now we're kind of seeing a little bit less interest given the rise of AI. But do you think prediction markets are kind of that killer use case for blockchain?
Yeah, I think it actually is I don't know if the question is regarding regulation or AI. Um, but if we discuss regulation, then we are the basic protocol. I mean, we're the machine that allows it to happen. Of course, regulation for each state, country, is something that's local, and any operator that will build on Rain would have to take that into consideration. Regarding AI, I think that AI is actually, it goes two ways. First of all, it's the reason for a burst, meaning AI systems can make a lot of use of prediction markets and the data that we have from prediction markets. This data is actually, if we discuss polls versus prediction markets, usually people, when being polled, they discuss what they want to happen, and when they put their money on it, it's usually what they believe would happen. So you get a different type of data that is usually much more correct, because it was wagered. This type of data can be used with AI for any information system, for any research, really. So it does go both ways, and it also, of course, enables, and through Rain itself, by the way, we have great tools, a great SDK that allows AI to actually build complete products using the SDK. You can quickly go into one of the large language models that we have today, and create your own product using the Rain SDK.
I see. Okay. Now, I want to know a little bit more about why someone would want to build their own prediction market and how that's beneficial to themselves or an institution.
Yeah, it's a great question. So, first of all, one can be someone personal that wants to build for him, for his friends, for an institution. If you have a niche topic that you want to create prediction markets on, so you can use it for hedging, or you can use it for trading, you can use it for whatever you want. That's one use of it. But generally, um, it means that today we see prediction markets and we see them as the current products that we know. But given that this is a primitive, this type of data, this type of information, I think we haven't yet seen the full use of it. And the fact that we allow anyone to create what they want from it, for instance, a news feed that you see, on any of the major outlets, that is always has a market attached to it, a probability attached to it. That's one use that we don't see today. We see the systems, we see the products themselves, the prediction markets, but we don't see a lot of things that we today enable. And honestly, I don't know. I'm building, the machine, the rails for it. I don't know what the use of it will be in the future, and I think we will be surprised with a lot of new products that will come out from it.
Okay. So you're saying that we haven't seen the full use yet of prediction markets and you are not sure of the outcome moving forward and how that may look?
For sure, I'm sure that we haven't seen. We're at the beginning of it. I think that a lot of yeah, I even believe that today what we see today is a subset of what will be on prediction markets going forward. I think that a lot of what we're seeing today pretty much defined what prediction markets are, but insurance is a prediction market. Travel insurance, for instance, is a good example. If you want to fly somewhere and there might be a hurricane there, so you buy the tickets, but you can also buy insurance for it. By voting that there will be a hurricane there, so you actually can hedge your flight, and a lot of insurance systems work that way. This is just a small example, by the way, of a builder that has this idea that I saw that they're starting to build. I think we're at the beginning of something that's much bigger, and I hope that we're the space where that will happen.
Okay, yeah, no, that's interesting. With the prediction markets built on Rain Protocol, is cryptocurrency involved here? And if so, how and which cryptocurrency is being used?
Yes. So today, all the markets on Rain currently work with USDT, with the stablecoin, meaning that you transfer your USDT to Arbitrum, and the markets are behaving that way. Um, we have our own token, the Rain token, and this is part of our utility of our token utility. The token and the money that is actually being used on prediction markets is USDT on Arbitrum.
Okay, I see. And Rain Protocol has its own token. What is it called, the token?
Rain.
Rain. I read recently, I think it was a few months ago, there was a surge with Rain, the token. What can you explain that to us and how that surge happened? I'm just curious to know that.
Um,
I think it was the
yeah,
end of May. There was a crypto outlet that wrote about it, if you know the event that
yeah,
I'm talking about.
we're building a great system here. We have a high valuation. We have a very good token, a strong token, and there's that's an eye opener for a lot of people. We are building a tremendous system behind that token.
Got it. Can you explain what the biggest challenges may be when somebody looks to build a prediction market on top of Rain Protocol, and how are those challenges overcome?
Um, Yeah, I don't see too many challenges actually. I actually call for people to go to the Rain.one website and pick up the SDK from there and try it and play with it. If you have an idea, if you have an idea for prediction market or for any use of our protocol for prediction markets, then yeah, I call you to try it. I don't see a real barrier. Even more so today, we see a lot of builders that are not technology founders. They're just taking the SDK, putting it into OpenClaw or to Claude, and just you see full complete prediction markets working. So yeah, it's actually I think we removed most of the barriers for that. But of course, when you discuss a grown up project, you need to think marketing. But that's just normal. Any company would have that, regardless if it's prediction market or not.
Right. I was also wondering, and because anybody can create a prediction market on Rain Protocol, I could, but how do we prevent that from being flooded with spam or just useless prediction markets, right? We want things that are useful, like you mentioned the insurance use case. So how do we prevent the bad use cases from happening on Rain Protocol? Is that something that you regulate?
Um, no, honestly, it's a decentralized market. But what you will see, being that we are the rails to build it, you have products that are built on it. If it's a bad product, or if it surfaces stuff that it shouldn't, that would be a bad product. But honestly, when you see builders such as Rain Trade, what they did is most of the market pages, most of the exploration pages, they're already filtered or sorted by volume. So you see, where people go and where people don't. There will be a flood, and but each and every operator can actually decide what to show and what not to show. So if it's a bad product, it's a bad product. But I think it's right for any industry, really. We have creators. You obviously don't see it too much on YouTube and on TikTok with the previous example. So I think the right way to go is actually to surface the good stuff, and eliminate the bad stuff.
Hmm. Okay, so I should have asked this question at the beginning of the interview, but I'm just curious, when was Rain Protocol created and launched for people to use the product?
So it was created nearly 2 years ago. It was launched. The first version was launched, I think, 18 months ago. Just counting, no, a bit over a year. But the last version, which is a stronger version, and I think it's a more consumer-oriented version, went live a month ago. A
Got
bit
it.
more than a month ago, maybe two
Got it.
months ago. Yeah.
Okay. So would you say that Rain Protocol was launched during the rise of prediction markets, or was it kind of ahead of the game before
No, I
that
think it's
rise?
with prediction markets. But I think one of the we discussed what being decentralized and what being completely on chain is. I think in that manner we're not fully there yet. Even I think we need to create more basic systems that allow this primitive to actually have more tools and more abilities for consumers as we go. So we're still in the surge. I believe that 2 years from now we will say it's still the surge of prediction markets, because I think it's huge. I think it includes every tradable asset globally. That's what ultimately we'll see there. Today we see a lot of sports market, crypto markets, but it's actually much bigger than that.
Right. I agree. Um, Yeah, I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see how prediction markets advance. Also, just the centralized players, right, like Polymarket and Kalshi. Do you see anything like there that's being mirrored with Rain Protocol, for instance, in terms of how those are advancing and how that might reflect onto Rain Protocol moving forward?
Yeah, for sure. It's an industry. At the end of the day, it's an industry, and hats off to them, because they're the big, they're the big kids in town. They do a lot of good things. We see a lot of their behaviors, and we understand them, and we try to take that and give that as tools to our builders. So yeah, for sure, there, that's a huge effect on what Rain is. But all in all, it's I think there will be sort of a turning point where more products will. What, I'll give another example, which comes from um, another analogy, maybe. The hassle of creating the prediction market contracts and the settlement and all that stands behind a prediction market is should be a given. And it's pretty much like we have Amazon's AWS, that at the beginning everyone had their own farm and their own servers, and they went live with their own internet servers and IIS. And today, so many, I think most companies say, why do I need that hassle? I have one provider, maybe a few, but a provider that actually gives me the full solution, and I can deal with what I want to deal with, which is the product itself. I think that's the turning point, and I think we're not there even yet.
Got it. And I mean, just based on the conversation we've been having, it sounds like Rain Protocol is not competing with Polymarket. or call she, but it's more of an infrastructure where people can build on, and it's not really competing with those centralized players. Is that correct?
I would say so, yes. I think our builders will compete with some of those, some of the builders as well. But yeah, I think we're an enabler for this space.
Right, right. Do you also think that as the AI boom grows, we're going to see the growth of prediction markets? I mean, how does that mirror each other, and how does AI help with the growth of prediction markets? I know we touched on it a little bit. You mentioned that builders can use AI to build their own prediction markets, but how else will that complement prediction markets?
Yeah, so AI is a huge, huge topic. I think I can talk about that for hours now. I will try to sort of encapsulate it in something that I would say now, but I wouldn't conceptualize anything on AI. I think that stage is still far from us, the concept part, but it allows for immense speed. There are a lot of tedious tasks that have one outcome or few possible outcomes that you can assign AI to do. But you need to come with the idea. You need to elaborate on what that idea is to create that product. But it's quick, so you can try. I myself built, I think, 5 or 6 products in the last 3 weeks based on Rain. Different ideas, different things that I thought of. Um, I think a lot of builders will actually do that because it's easy. Now it's easy. You actually need, just to use an AI, one of the LLMs. You can actually create systems from scratch based on ideas. I think that's the real enabler. But thought and concept will still come from people, but you have probably a lot more thoughts and concepts that actually see a product, see to get to be a product.
Yeah, that's important. Right now a big topic is AI, and, are humans needed if there's AI? But based on what you're saying, it sounds like the AI is helping builders create those prediction markets, but humans are still needed to ensure that these prediction markets will be good products.
I think so. I think so. You can assign, one of the AI systems or few, give me a great idea, but likely when you see that idea, you say, okay, that's nice, but um, it's not, it's not a well thought of concept usually,
Hmm.
like a concept thought about by people. Creative, being creative is still a part that's tough for AI. Maybe in the near future we will see creativeness, but that's a different level of AI, in my opinion.
Got it. Speaking of creativity, can you kind of give us a use case of what you think is one of the most creative prediction markets built on Rain Protocol?
Um, I see builders that are building stuff now, so I maybe won't say that much. But a travel insurance, which is an example that I gave, I think that's an amazing implementation. You just need a market that can actually hedge your flight, and if you create a marketplace of people that are actually saying, "Yeah, I'm actually happy with saying that there's less than 30% of a hurricane happening next week in Barbados," to actually insure my flight, really. So it's a very nice use, and it's just one simple use, but you can have, when I say this example, you can actually have hundreds of those, which are pretty much on the same line. That's a nice thing. I've seen an implementation on the previous version actually of Rain, that did news items,
Hmm.
took all the news items that you have in the big media outlets and created markets based on them, created like basic markets, and then you had this belief percentage on them, so you can actually see when you're reading something how likely is it to happen, which is nice. Like you see a news item, and it's not just a news item anymore, it's actually there is some sentiment behind it already.
Right. So my question is, I mean, this sounds really revolutionary, right? And I think it adds a level of interaction, right, with news and with insurance that people can actually take a next step um, for, as a trading platform and to bet. But how can we ensure mainstream adoption of a decentralized, open prediction market with the mainstream, right? Because we're using USDT, Rain has their own token. How can we ensure that this gains mainstream adoption moving forward?
Yeah, so I think um, for like there's two layers for that. There's the layer that's the protocol, and that's the layer that's consumer. Consumer would likely allow you to use your credit card and convert it in the background to USDT. So the system, and you see that on Polymarket, and you see that on generally, that's, most prediction markets that will be on chain, or partially even settlement is on chain. The deposit will be fiat, will be normal USD dollars, not USDT, and in the background there's USDT to that. So that's not really a barrier. It's just a separate layer. The consumer facing product will add that layer. We still are completely on chain.
I see. Okay. Roy, so any question or anything that you want to bring up that I didn't already ask you about? I know we're running low on time, so if there's anything I missed that you want to let our listeners know about.
No, I call, like I previously said, I call everyone to go on rain.one to see. We have a very nice system to use it. And yeah, we're here for anything. So you can also contact us via Twitter and Rain Protocol. So yeah, we're there waiting for you.
Great. And now you mentioned that there's going to be a new version of Rain. Is that correct? When can we expect to see that?
We have the new version that just came out
Okay.
2 months ago.
Okay.
I don't have a time frame yet for the next version, but it will be a special one.
Okay. And if our listeners want to build their own prediction markets on Rain Protocol, what steps need to be taken? I'm sure a lot of our listeners are thinking this is interesting.
Yeah, go to rain.one, go to the builders area. You'll have everything there.
Okay, Roy, I think I'm going to give it a try because this is something that would be completely new for me. And I'll give you my feedback as well to let you know how easy it is and what I think about building a prediction market. It's really interesting.
I would love to hear that, and we're ever improving. So please do that.
Wonderful. Okay, Roy, you mentioned, what is your X handle? Are you active on X or LinkedIn if our listeners want to get in touch with you directly?
Yeah, I'm Roy Shaham. I'm not that active there, but our protocol is.
Great. Well, Roy, this has been a great conversation, and I look forward to staying in touch and learning more about Rain Protocol and what's next moving forward.
Thanks a lot, Rachel. It was fun. Thank you.
Thank you, Roy. Thanks. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Special thanks to 4Labs Digital for producing Deep Dive Podcast. I'd also like to thank the sponsors behind Deep Dive. You can click the links in the show notes to learn more about each of the initiatives from these sponsors. Finally, thanks to the listeners for tuning in. Please be sure to subscribe, like, and share.